Hey, good evening, everybody. Sammy Thunder here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the live stream of the Vintage Chill and Chat. Uh, it's gonna be an eventful weekend. Um, Friday and Saturday are dedicated more to family than to anything card related, family and friends. Sunday, I will be back at Garfield for the big card show that they have every other week. So that's definitely a lot to look forward to there. Uh, just wanted to kind of check in with everybody. The last time we did this was, what was it, this past Friday? And, oh no, it was the Friday before, I think, losing track of time. And it was really eventful, a lot of fun, had a lot of good laughs. Chat was really popping, and everybody was having a good time. So figured try to recapture that lightning in a bottle if we can. I took out all of my raw cards that I have in my collection, and I thought that it would be kind of cool to kind of show some of the stuff because I never really show the raw cards, or maybe I've shown it once and then it's kind of just gone by the not by the wayside, obviously, but definitely hasn't resurfaced. And I definitely wanted to show these cards first. Uh, let's see, Andrew. Hey, good evening, Andrew. Welcome back. And Lou Rock, what's up, man? How you doing? Definitely wanted to show these cards. These cards belong to my father-in-law. He sadly passed away um, back in 2020, and my mother-in-law found these cards in, I guess, the basement or somewhere in their house, and I guess they belong to him. And so they're cards. These aren't like nothing super special, but to have something from my father-in-law. If he had this 72 Gaylord Perry, had two of them. Disregard the top loader it's in. It's got some tape around it. He had, let's see if I can pronounce the name. I'm not a big football guy, but Fred Beletnikov. Maybe you guys can help me with that. Um, he had this 68 Joe Morgan, his collection. Original cards too. It came from his personal collection growing up. I'm sure he definitely pack broke these. And then the fourth Gaylord Perry. So kind of special. I keep these around. They're not worth a whole lot, obviously, but for just for internal value, family value, they're priceless. So it's definitely nice to kind of have something, because I have very good in-laws. My mother-in-law is great, my father-in-law was great, obviously my wife is a great person. So I'm very grateful to have something of his. These are cards that I picked up. I don't know when. I must have picked these up when I was just, let's see, 2001. So this must have been like late middle school, maybe early high school. Um, Diamond Gems is filling me in. Bulitnikov, thank you. Or Bulitnikov. Thank you so much. I'm not a Pronunciation is not my forte, but I count on you guys to help me out. But I picked up like these Albert Pujols rookie cups. This one has the variation. Apparently, there's the opening day version, which I have two of those. This is as modern as it gets for me, but I've held on to these, you know, because I know Albert Pujols. When his time comes, it's going to be phenomenal, and everyone's going to be flooding probably for Albert Pujols stuff. Maybe, maybe not. And of course, you have my Larry Bird collection back here. Uh, Larry Bird and the rookie card with Magic Johnson and with Julius Irving as well on there. Jason, hey man, thanks for coming by. But here's some of my Larry Bird collection. This came from a subscriber of mine, and it was really nice because I guess his son knew I was a huge Larry Bird collector, and he was like, "Hey, Sammy Thunder loves Larry Bird. Let's send him this card." And it was a huge deal. I mean, this card it's a very special one. The '86 Fleer comes from a great set, and it's a great card. And I was really humbled by the generosity. And so I sent them back some cards from my collection, just because it was such a nice thing to do, and for me to give this to me. And I sent them back a nice care package as well. And this one, obviously, Gerald Papil. I want to say that's Jerry, the one I was supposed to pay back at the Philly show. And tell me if it is you, Jerry, because I owe you some money. We have to square up. You gonna be if that is you, are you gonna be at Garfield? Because I'm hoping you will be. Sensei Domino, how you doing, man? Good to see you. And Pool's definitely going to skyrocket. We'll see. I'm not, I can't speculate. Lee just came in. How you doing, Lee? Good to see you. This one, I th- this one's a really cool item. Adam from Splendid Sports Cards has one of these graded, and I've been wanting one of these for quite a while. They're just such a cool looking sticker. It's hopefully it gets better focus, but it's kind of tough with the sticker. It's the Prism 1985 Larry Bird, and these are great alternatives. Like if you find the Michael Jordan one, I mean the Michael Jordan one goes. You can get the Michael Jordan. I guess you could call it a second year or something, but uh, the sticker is a great alternative than paying big money for his Fleer 86. These stickers are super cool, and what's even cooler is that the guy who sold it to me had the original cardboard that this was sealed in. Or not sealed, but it was put inside of this. So when you put in your money, like 25 or 50 cents at the grocery store, you got your card inside of here. You didn't know what you were getting. So the Larry Bird was in this one, and it's a shame SGC doesn't grade these. I was hoping they would, but it does not look like it does not look like they do. So PSA is the only grading company, and I don't have a PSA account, so I may have to count on some other content creators to maybe hook me up with their membership so I can send some PSA stuff in. Cover your ears, SGC aficionados. Okay, I was right. It was Jerry. He's not sure about Garfield. We'll get together soon if I don't make it. Jerry's one of the absolute class. I mean, not concerned. Like this hobby is so, and I fall victim of this too. We're so, when we sell or when we sell cards, um, you know, you expect to be paid. It's like anything else. You buy something, you expect to be paid right on the spot. Jerry's absolute class. He's been super chill about this. Like I'm saying, hey, let's meet up, and we'll meet up at the Philly show, and we weren't able to work it out, but he's not concerned, and eventually we're going to make it happen. I think I'm more concerned about getting his money back than getting him his money than he is. But Jerry, thank you so much, man. You've been so super cool about this whole process. I don't want to go too far into it because I don't want to. I'm sure Jerry doesn't want to have this become too much of a focus. But thank you, Jerry. Let's see. Classy stick on. So true. That is cool. Original envelope. Yeah, it is a really cool item. Hey, so we love your vintage content. I'm glad I found you. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're here to kind of enjoy the kind of like the chilling opportunity. Sensei saying hello to Orlando. Hello, Orlando. Got some MJs. LeBron's coming back from PSA soon. That's going to be exciting to see some stuff. And Vintage Goats is not like LeBron James, apparently. And Jerry's no worries. I'm guessing that meant to be no worries, which absolutely right. That is no worries indeed. And okay, my wife's just texting me. Okay. Here's some more Larry Bird stuff. I got this when I was a kid. Not a kid, but you know what I mean. Like, Larry Bird, Topps Chrome Finest. Pretty cool. The MJ, I think, goes for big money on this. I don't know. Not too familiar with the shiny cards. I know I just had this for quite a while. And then, of course, the Sports Illustrated for kids, Larry Bird edition. Pretty cool. Found this in the basement in my mom's house, and it's still in quasi good shape. So pretty good, pretty good. And of course, it gives me Tom Seaver face. Let me leave the link in the chat. I'm also, like Andrew. If Andrew has like a million questions to ask, I'm all for that too. If anybody has any questions to ask, I'm always happy to answer. I can't say that I am a true like analyst in the hobby. I'm not gonna. I don't want to give you advice because I'm not the. Just there's no reason for me to give you advice. Just I can give you how I do certain things, but it doesn't mean that they will work for you. Um, Andrew, you can gladly ask me a million questions. I wouldn't know where to start. You'd have to join one of my interview collaborations. Then I'd start asking you a million questions. So I'm gonna leave the link in the chat. You guys can join in if you'd like. I'll show some more cards because I know that's always a lot of fun for people. Obviously, the Seaver face. There's nothing to hide there. Theo is good at Theo's very good at asking questions. He's a born natural. Sharing info is helpful for all collectors. I agree. I guess it just depends on what it is, I suppose. I just consider myself to collect in a style that works for me, and I'm happy to share my experiences, but let's see. Vintage Goats is trying to start collecting oddball cards with something cool or a good good stat about them. Is that what you meant? Like a good statistic about them, or a good start about them? Or collecting oddball players. So like I don't know. Are you talking about like Kent Tekove oddball with the largest bubble gum from 1976, the bubblegum challenge, or something different? Of all the players who collect, is Seaver your main focus? He's one of my main focuses. I will give you the roundup. It's Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, Willie Mays, and Christy Mathewson, of course, Christy Mathewson. Those are my four baseball guys. Then you go to basketball, it's Bill Russell and Larry Bird. So I've streamlined it down so that I can focus and collect and not throw my dollar in 50 million directions. So Goat's cement statistic. Yeah. I think the Kent Tekove one is a good one. What was your reaction to the Mangini impression? Overwhelmingly positive. I think people seem to enjoy it. I made sure I got John's approval first because, I don't want to burn bridges before they've been established. Or I guess, the bridge has been established with John and I. John is super cool, and hanging out with him at the National was an awesome thrill. He's every bit who he is. Like from what you see is what you get. John is a charmer, and he will definitely just kind of be the center of attention in a good way. So yeah, but to answer your question, Mook, overwhelmingly positive. And if I were drinking beer, it might churn up the Mangini impression, but not tonight. Or Washington with the pinch runner written as, yeah, that's a cool light. That's a cool that'd be a cool oddball statistic. I haven't really stepped into those boundaries. I guess that's kind of John X the same way on the internet. Yeah, he does. He does. I'll show you some more stuff. So I've been considering sending some stuff in to for SGC for my next submission. I don't know if they grade. Like, I don't know if they will grade this or not. This comes from the 1970. What was it? I have the whole pack here. Let me fetch it for you. I showed this at my showed this at the one of my videos because I got this. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the year. I want to say I think when I did research, it was like 1970, and it has Gil Hodges. I mean, you can see the names on the bottom, and everybody's in here. And then I separated the Seaver, obviously. So I've thought about wanting to send that in or send the Seaver in, but I don't know if they grade them or not. Just catching up with some people. Jason says I collect everything, hence the everyday card collector. It does not have to be expensive to be fun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like to buy one expensive card when I go to the Philly show. Typically that's always what seems to happen when I'm there. Like this one was the big one, but in contrary to what Jason was saying, he's right because there's definitely been times where I've walked away with like a $5 card, like the Tom Seaver Milton Bradley. I needed that, or I wanted that because I didn't have it in my oddball Seaver collection, so I picked it up for $5. So he's absolutely right. The smallest purchases can bring the biggest thrill. Have you noticed that SGC wait times are getting longer? I've heard the story. I haven't submitted anything for quite some time. So, yeah, I suppose I know the Peter addressed it in a video, and he said that they're working on getting those numbers down. Birdman. Hey, Sammy, great conversation, man. Thank you for coming by and just hanging out. Keep all my acting offline. Interesting. So you are authentic online, and then when you're in person, you are a completely different person altogether. This is very interesting, Andrew. I was told my cards would come back in 2 weeks. It got pushed back to 4 weeks. Is that with the SGC? Because I mean, it's unfortunate. Things are kind of getting longer and out of hand. And let's see. Lastly, Billy Sykes, enjoy the videos. I'm trying to get the Seaver rookies, my all-time favorite pitcher. You and me both. We're both in that same category of Seaver aficionados and longtime collectors. Speaking of longtime collectors, hello, Orlando.
Hey, Sammy. How you doing, my
Longtime
friend?
collectors. How you doing? I feel like I'm witnessing royalty here after your big live stream. That was really top notch.
That was a lot of fun. It was just great to see everybody in the chat. That was probably the most fun.
Oh
Some
yeah.
great comments, and it was just
Everybody was, yeah, go ahead.
it was just a fun time, and great subjects that he brought up. So
Mm,
and big difference between doing a live stream with Jeremy Lee than doing with you and everybody else, because we just go on and start chatting and talking.
yeah, that's
Uh, he
typically how it goes.
Yeah, it was well planned. I mean, he set it up like a couple of months in advance, and he sent me some stuff to talk about, and kind of introduced me to Leighton Shelton there, and all that stuff prior to that. And then, he called me like it was like a 45-minute kind of interview before, taking notes and say, well, how am I going to introduce you and all this stuff, and
It's a little
all well
too,
planned, and he's reminding me,
yeah.
when I'm talking, don't talk. And when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at my notes. And when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the chat. And, it was just, it was good because I did get a good chance to get to know him. And that was fun,
Mhm.
but it was very, he was scripted, pretty scripted.
So Andrew says you could be a guest on his YouTube channel anytime. That is when Andrew decides to.
Yeah, I'll do it for sure.
Yeah, Andrew, man. I mean, listen, you're becoming quite a popular participant in this community. It's only a matter of time before you jump on the bandwagon like the rest of us
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Jason's saying we're gonna play poker in Strongsville. I mean, depends what the buy-in is. I think like $10 is probably all I can pretty much do because that's hobby dollar money right there.
Yeah.
The mayor of Hobbytown, Jeremy, learned about the legend of Orlando that night. That is so true.
Yeah.
And Lou Rock is very excited about you being on. I think Lou Rock should come
Yeah.
We talking national yet? I mean,
Hey.
I know he didn't go last year, so I think he's going, isn't he? Lou Rock, you should come
Yes,
on
he's
and answer this
definitely
question.
going. He's definitely going for sure. He told me he was going. And a
That's
lot of
good.
people are going, but I think, we're talking more Strongsville right now because that's the next big show
Yeah,
that I'm going to, and that's going to be a fun time. And I'm going to meet Mike Petty for the first time.
that's gonna be exciting.
That's
Yeah,
going
I'm
to be
really
fun.
excited
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, yeah. And well, actually, I can only be on for a little while because at 9 o'clock, I got a recorded interview with Mike Petty and Greg for Midlife.
Mm,
So about 9 o'clock, we're going to start that. So it's always
nice.
fun to have Petty on there, and I won't share what we're going to talk about because he's going to record it, and then I guess he'll put it on the next day or whenever, however he does it. But it's always going to be a fun chat with Mike Petty, and going to be great to meet him for the first time.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, yeah, he's probably another that like, what you see is what you get. I don't think there's any sort of character that he portrays on camera versus how he behaves in person. I think that's exactly what you see is what you
Yeah,
get.
yeah. I've gotten to not meet him, but talk to him on the phone for a long time here and there. So we've become pretty good friends, and he's exactly well, he says a lot more bad words on the phone than he does on, but he tells it like it is, and that's what I like about him. It's just like Mangini. Mangini does the same. He'll tell it like it is.
He does, yeah. It's just everybody. I'm sure everybody wants me to do that impression. Nope, I did it once in that video. That's it.
That was the best. That was just so good, man. Now they want you to do a Lou Rock impression now.
I haven't. Yeah, I know, man. John wanted me to try it, but I haven't gotten Lou's persona down and completely. I got like the intro down as far like when he introduces his videos, but I need a little more time before I before I properly do it because when you watch enough Mangini videos, you kind of start noticing the nuances, like the head down, the laugh, and like.
Yeah.
But no, like as you said, it's like impressions are the what is it the form of
Sincerest form of
flattery.
flattery.
Yeah, and I mean John's advice goes miles, when it comes to certain topics. And like the first thing I remember taking away from him, I know he meant this as a joke, or maybe he didn't, I don't know, but was calling rookie cards like certain rookie cards should not be classified as rookie cards and first year cards. Like John Havlicek's Topps 1969 is his first card, not his rookie year card.
Right, because he's been playing for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Here's some. So I've been thinking like which cards I would want to submit to SGC if I decide to do it. So obviously I'm thinking about doing the Monty Irvin. So this one I was thinking of submitting. It's gonna get low grades because it's wrinkled on the back but it's kind of expected. I think these are so tough to find in great shape. As I've learned from you guys, you and John were talked about these that mothers or whoever did the shopping would buy these hot dogs and they were frozen and they would rip the packaging off and the card would go flying and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah. Or they'd thaw it in the bag and then it'd get all the hot dog stains all over it. And,
Yeah.
those are the type of pieces that if you see something like that, you don't see those at every show.
No, this
That's
one I
kind of,
picked up off a guy named Chuck in Milford, Connecticut. He had it priced at 350, as you can see. It says in Sharpie, rare. And I got him down to 300 and he let me have this. So it's not a Willie Mays as much as I would love to have his card, or as Mike Petty said, just write Willie Mays over his name. It looks like it. I don't know if they grade these. This was one of the pickups that I made. Not pickups. Like a guy came up to me and had a bunch of Mets stuff, and this is the 1971 team issued card of Nolan Ryan. And the one that I really want to get, if I can find it at Strongsville or the National, is there is a 1968 or yeah, I think it's yeah, there was one from 1968 that's a 4x5 team postcard of Nolan Ryan in his rookie year, and I've never seen them ever.
Hmm.
Didn't even see it at the Philly show. I saw a bunch of Mets stuff, but nothing from nothing earlier than 1969.
As far as grading something like that, Sammy, uh, the last card show I was at the West Palm Beach card show here,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked them because I have a proof sheet that I got, and it's 9 by 11. So I
Okay.
went up to the SGC booth and I asked them, would you grade this? And they said, well, it all depends on the size. I said, well, what are your sizes? And he asked the other guy, and he says it's got to be smaller than 8.5 by 11. If not, they
Okay.
will not slab it. So mine was just a little too big. So I know they're not going to slab my sheet, which was 9 by 11, I think it was. So maybe I think they will slab that picture.
That's cool. So that encouraged me to get my Seaver face one
Yeah.
slammed. That's good. It's good to know. And I'll get this one's wrinkled, unfortunately. When small little can't really see it, but a small little crease on it. But otherwise a really nice, just a nice looking piece that you don't see all the time that shows. Probably just because it's only people like me buy it. But this is a fun one. I got off of a Facebook group. Was this the Willie Mays transogram? I want to say this is from 1970, not this because I think he was only in the 1970 packaging, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked it up, but it's unfortunately the perforate like the dotted lines are completely off. Somebody definitely trimmed this or cut it evenly around without the perforation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I don't know too much about the years on that, but definitely if they cut some of the coupon black line,
yeah,
they'll call it authentic for the most part.
this is a cool thing I got at the Norman Rockwell Museum at his house in Massachusetts. I think it's in Massachusetts. You know, if you remember Norman Rockwell, you know this very well. He's the umpire's checking. I forget the name of this piece. It's a very famous piece, and I saw the original, and because it's I think the original, if I'm not mistaken, the original is in Cooperstown, and very famous piece. This was from April 23rd, 1949. Not this. This is only a magnet.
Right, the actual magazine. Yeah, yeah. Well, Norman Rockwell did a lot of paintings for different sports too, not just baseball. But
Right.
he's just. But I'll never own one of those.
No.
Any original
Oh, they go
piece is
for
ridiculous,
that's like hundreds
Yeah,
and hundreds
yeah.
of thousands to millions.
But you can get a lot of those post type magazine covers in those magazines, and you can get them relatively cheap
Yeah,
with the pictures of of the day back in the day.
they're very unique. Because he was, I think he was. Let's see, loved the Sensei saying that he loves the Rookie by Norman Rockwell. I have to look that one up. I actually don't know what that one looks like. Let me see.
Yeah, you can look it up there. You got a computer, I think.
I have like a TV
Yeah.
monitor that I've hooked it up to the Rookie painting. It's of the Red Sox locker room. Let me see. Yeah, Red Sox with Ted Williams. That's a cool looking photo. Let me present it here. So this is on the Wikipedia page. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's cool. Ted Williams.
yeah. But yep. Very cool.
See, that's a nice post magazine that I'd like to
Yeah.
get. And they're available. They're out there. Those are the type of things you'll find at Strongsville. You'll find a lot of unique things and a lot of historical items and stuff like that you won't find anywhere else. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
just Scott is just so unique.
It's yeah. I mean, I'm hoping Scott brings some merchandise with him. I think or to Strongsville and then to the National.
Yeah.
We'll see. Um, these are things I haven't really shown on camera too often yet, but I bought this pack a while ago at this is years ago. This is at an antique mall. It's an NBA hoops pack, but you can kind of
It's
see
upside down.
it's upside down, and you could
Oh,
see
you're
the
looking to
first
see
card.
who's through? Is that Jordan?
It's Jordan's All Star card.
Oh, wow, great.
And so then I found another pack I got for like $1, and this one has Magic Johnson on the front. So now I want to get the one that has Larry Bird on it, so I can get the trifecta.
It's great that you can see right through that.
Yeah, it's very helpful in that regards. But let me see what other like all the maze stuff. This was the bazooka box. I think from 71 or 70. I can't remember what year. This I got at Garfield, and it's cut pretty poorly, but thought it was a cool little item.
It's amazing. It's a tough maze.
Chris from Missouri. Hello,
Hey,
Chris.
Chris, how you doing? We're
Chris is
just
kind
talking
of
about Strongsville. Chris
yeah.
has Chris should come on and talk a little bit about Strongsville.
Chris, yeah, he's kind of like the backbone for this whole
Yeah,
thing. I'll leave the link, Chris, if you want to join.
yeah. Because I'm
Uh,
gonna have to get off in about 15 minutes or so.
yeah, I know you got your the recording you have to do with
Yeah, yeah, with
Greg.
Greg and Mike.
Um, yeah, I mean, so I have to reclaim my goal of getting back to my budget that I want to be at for Strongsville because I splurged on the maze at the at the Philly. So that was one thing. It's like so the Journal
The Journal
American.
maze, that's a beauty.
Yeah, so I looked it up and I was trying to see how many of these have been graded, and it looks like there's 75 total have been graded. It's a decent pop count. I was actually thinking it was less, but lo and behold, these have been gathering some steam lately.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, I mean,
Chris.
it's maize and it's from the 50s, so pretty much most of that stuff's going to be graded by now, Sammy.
Yeah, it's just interesting because the New York Journal Americans, being that they were regional, they weren't. I don't think these were given out nationwide. I think they were just within the greater New York City area. So,
Yeah.
but I guess being such a huge card market, New York being such a centralized market in general, I'm not surprised that many existed and
Hey,
live
Chris.
now.
Hey, Orlando. What I just got on, so I don't know what you guys were talking about, and
No, we were just talking cards, and Sammy was showing some of the stuff that he had, some pickups, and then we were just talking about Strongsville, and I was talking I'm going to meet Mike Petty at Strongsville for the first time, and we don't know how many people, but I hear that it's close to 40 different YouTubers or not semi-YouTubers, I guess, that are going to be there.
well, not semi. I mean, so Sammy is B Roth going to be there?
Yeah, he's traveling with me.
Okay, so I think that actually makes 40 content creators. Now there's others that have left messages saying, "Hey, can we show up can we show up and stuff?" And I think everybody has my permission to show up except Mike Petty, and we're going to have an armed guard there at the door to keep Mike from coming in. And it's just, I'm just kind of scared of Mike showing up unannounced.
Yeah, he's just a loudmouth, He's good. And you don't want any kids around there when he's there because his potty mouth is just going to be shooting right off there, especially after a couple of drinks.
I think I'll let him in a little bit because during trade night he's gonna give me $100 to complete a trade, so I better let him in.
Right, he owes you some money. I heard that. Now, what did you trade with him the other night again? So
he ended up getting a Whitey Ford rookie from me in a SGC3, and I ended up getting from him. Roberto Clemente 1970 Kellogg and $100. Now he got the better of the deal, but I think Mike gets the better of the deal. If you were on that trade night with him, he had some graded cards that were 2s and 3s, but he was saying these look good for, like a 9. And I mean, he's kind of slick when it comes to dealing, but but he's fun. We had a great time making that deal.
Yeah.
Jason
So
is
it's
very
gonna
much
be fun.
Jason's very much a gentleman. I've never heard him say any bad words.
Hey, so at Strongsville, we're gonna get together that Friday night. But almost, I think everybody that I've talked to so far is trying to get a hotel room at the Best Western right across the parking lot from this arena. And even though I was in Strongsville last year, I do not remember seeing anything that resembled an arena next to that hotel.
Yeah, the key thing for me with that Best Western is that they have a bar right up front.
Yes, but you need to watch some of Mike Canadian Cards show after Strongsville last year. So
Okay.
we were standing around talking to Enough Said Cards and Josh, and it was Don and Mike and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I got tired of waiting. They had one person to serve everybody. So I left, went up to my room, fixed myself a drink, came back down, and she hadn't taken their orders yet. So don't rely on that too much, Sammy. But I was promised by the person in charge of catering that the hotel is going to be there's going to be plenty of workers there to serve everybody, because apparently there's something going on in the big ballroom that night as well that's dealing with kind of the card show. So, but I look for about 60 people to be in that conference room with us, and we'll talk about it more as we get closer about what we're doing and if we're doing anything,
Yeah. No, it's I'm anticipating just a great weekend of hanging out, finding maybe a card or two, and that's kind of where my head is at. It sounds to me like the best thing to do is to bring like a 12-pack of beer and store it in the mini fridge. Hopefully they have one, and bring it down with me.
My fun, Orlando. You might as well find a spot with Don and I, and sit down at a table, and we can watch Mike Petty and Mike Moynihan. One of them be working the room like a politician, the other one will be working the room like a union leader.
Oh yeah, I want a nice seat, and I want to get a good view of everything that's happening.
That's right.
It's going to be almost like the party at the National. I mean, that's quite a bit of people when you're talking 60 people. And that's going to be great. That's going to be my favorite part. I mean, I'm going there mostly for the people. Yeah, I'm going to buy probably, like Sammy said, a card or two, but I'm not really I don't have a list. I'm not really looking at exactly what I'm going to get. When I get there, we'll see. But for the most part, I'm going for the friendships and just to meet everybody and to see everybody and spend a little more time than we did at the National. That I just didn't get enough time with anybody at the National, to be honest with you.
Well, I tell you what's going to be. Hi, Eddie. I think what's going to be neat about this is I hope it doesn't lose the integrity of the previous shows there, because really it was a small show, and if we had 40 people, YouTube content creators walking around last year, we wouldn't have been able to walk 5 feet without seeing a friend. So I hope I think even looking at cards is going to be a different animal for me. So.
Yeah, because you're going to have a lot of friends that you can consult with and get a second opinion on some stuff.
It's exciting.
What do you say, Eddie?
I'm just wondering if non-Strongsville people are allowed in the live stream. Am I good?
Absolutely.
You're always good.
I mean, I have to work that time of year, so.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm saving for the National. All my energy's going to that right now.
Where are you staying at the National?
I got an Airbnb that's like pretty close to the convention center. So it's just like one of these one room deals. You know, I didn't want to try to rely on like trying to find people to get something, you know, a group of people to get something together and all that. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure it was done. And so I'll be by myself, but that's okay. I snore and I don't smell that great. So, I mean, nobody wants to room with me anyway.
Listen, I roomed with Don once and roomed with John Wade Boggs fan. So I'm all prepared to stay the weekend with you, Eddie.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you know if there's an extra space. We'll make it work. How about you?
Where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
Hey, we got Rick.
I added Rick to the conversation. Hey, Rick.
I have a question for Chris after the conversation.
Uh-oh. Do I need to go study something first?
No, not at all. Not at all. Go ahead, though. Whatever.
Okay. I'm staying. So we booked a long time ago for a room. My wife, when I say we, my wife booked me a room, and staying with a couple friends that I'm bringing from my hometown here. But that hotel sold out. And we tried to rebook at the Radissons where a bunch of YouTubers are staying. And it was a mess trying to figure out something. So my wife booked me. I think we booked a couple rooms at the Comfort Inn right now. And I'll Uber back and forth. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, didn't one of the hotels get sold or something, and the reservations didn't transfer?
Yeah, we called that.
Talking about that.
That number. We called that number on the reservation, and that lady that we tried to deal with. Oh my gosh, we had her so confused, and she had us so riled up that I don't think I'll ever stay at a Radisson's hotel in the rest of my life. So, Rick, what's your question?
Well, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I see there's a card in Leland's auction that you might know something about.
Well, it's in Love of the Game. Is that
Love
Love
the
of the
Game. I'm
Game.
sorry,
Yeah,
Love the Game.
it
I
just
blew it. I
came
blew
out
it.
today for bidding.
I was just checking. I was just checking to see if you knew which auction it was in.
Guys, I'm gonna get off. I'll listen to you guys talk. Take care,
Orlando?
guys.
See you, Orlando.
See you, Orlando.
Catch you next time.
See you later.
Yeah. So I got notification like at 1:00 that the bidding had started. So the minimum bid has been bid. Maybe that's from you since you got all the money, Rick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it. This is kind of a shameful plug for it, but
No, I'm the one that brought it up. So plug away, man.
I'll be right back, guys.
I mean, you have a full page. You have a full page ad in the catalog, right?
yes. And then
That's crazy.
I think the card was on Great American Collectibles, or they talked about cards on Great American Collectibles last night before that. So I think he did a really good. He promised me that he would give me a half-page ad, and he ended up going above and beyond that. That was a nice, they only had a write-up on for 25 cards, and he put that in a great spot, I think.
It's one of the featured cards too. So how did that? Just you don't have to. How's it work? Who determines whether for that minimum bid? Is it you, them, both of you, or how's that normally work?
Well, so I dealt with. I did some due diligence and called Heritage and REA and stuff, and most wanted to do it at $500, and Al, who I talked to at Love of the Game, he said let's start it at $2,000, and that way it'll be serious bidders, and I won't cry if I just get $2,000 out of the card, but I mean I think it's worth considerably more than that. And then he called back and he said, Chris, he said, I think I want to start the bidding out at $3,000 just to, I don't want to get, I want serious bidders on this. And he said, I think this is a serious card. So I basically just said, here I am. You know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. So
Yeah, because
How long is the auction for, Chris?
I believe it's the last day of the month. I believe so, 15 days. And
the last I checked this morning, it had 2 bids, but do you know where it is now? How many bids are?
I think I haven't looked. I really haven't looked at it for a while. But my wife put it on one of my saved pages or something, so I can look it up. Throughout the day. I don't think I want. We bought some stuff. My wife and I did on high bid auction, and we bought some property on it, and it didn't move forever. And we were bidding on a lawnmower too, and it was like staying. And then the last 30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
It just went crazy.
Yeah. But it's kind of interesting in that, a lot of times if they put down like $3,000 as a minimum bid, they expect it to go 10 plus thousand. Normally, I'm just saying normally. Let's say you have like a roof card or some kind of thing that they'll start at like $3,000 and they expect probably 10,000. But with your card, it's so rare that they're smart to set it where it is because you just don't know. You want to have a minimum, which it's already hit, but I mean, you just don't know where it's going to fall, So
well, you know as well as I do, you need 2 people interested in it.
Yeah.
And you've been on plenty of stuff. Somebody might have $5,000 on it right now, but it just shows that the 3,100 is the highest bidder. So if you go and bid 32, you still might not get it, or 33.
Yeah, it's going to go a lot. I mean, it just started. You got a whole month going here, and like you said, when you start to get to extended bidding, all it takes is 2 people that want to build that set. They're missing that card, and it can go wildfire, and a little surprise people because they're probably wondering, well, what,
Yeah.
But you just never know. But at least you got the minimum, and I don't think they know. I don't think anyone really knows, because
and that's exactly what all the all the auction houses said. We don't have a clue. One sold for almost $3,000 20 years ago. 23 years ago, and I had that card at I got it graded and slabbed with CGC, and I set up at this small show. And last fall, I just had that card set out in a showcase by itself. And one of the dealers, and it's almost like Alex Bowman 53. This guy's calls himself Brooklyn somebody. And he came up and he brought me over to his table and he offered me his 2 tables for that card. And, if it goes for what it is now, I'm going to be kicking myself for not taking it. But
no, it's going to, I've been into many of auctions. I put placement bids, and just to put a placement bid. But once I'm telling you, the last hour, when it gets to extended bidding on all these cards, it triples, quadruples. Nothing really stays where it's at. Very rare.
Right. So Jerry's just asking what card is that you guys are referring to. Okay,
so Jerry, that's it's called a 1953 Bowman Color Proof, and it's Dodgers in action, and they're not 100% sure, but they think it might be. They know it's the Dodgers playing the Cubs, but it looks like Gil Hodges is sliding in home. If you know anything about the 53 Bowman color set, it's the inaction card they have in there is the Pee Wee Reese jumping over the second base, and I think this was an attempt for another inaction card. And there's four proof cards, and what I hope, I mean, I wish I could find this out, but I hope it sells for a whole lot, of course. And then 2, I hope Keith Olbermann buys this thing, because that would help the story out, because Keith Olbermann owns 3 of the 4 cards. He just doesn't own this card.
Oh, there you go. Have you tried to contact his representative or his agent or anyone just to say?
We reached out to him on on Twitter, and
Yeah.
I'm sure whoever read it didn't deem it necessary to get a hold of him.
So who did, when they did the write-up, or did you provide them a lot of that information, research, or?
No, so no, I sent him 2 articles that were on it, and then he came on a show on Bench Clear Media with Mike and I to talk about it, but researched it, and they researched it even more than what the articles, and there's some stuff in the description of it that they had to come up with, and not me.
Gotcha.
They did try to reach out to PSA to grade it, because PSA has graded one before, but they said they're not grading any more proofs of that year. So
Loki's asking if it's for auction now, or is it in the process?
It's so go to Love of the Game auction and click on auctions and go to the spring auction, and that's the one that's going on now, and it's lot number 26, I think, in the auction. They have some really neat stuff in there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool that yours is one of the featured ones on the first page. That's really cool that they did that.
I'll share the screen right now. So
yeah, I'm trying to pull it up too.
So let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Yeah.
Chris, would SGC grade? They wouldn't grade it either.
They got me excited when I took it to the National, and I took it up to them, and they spent a lot of time with me. And matter of fact, when I picked that card up, 10 minutes after I picked that card up, I went over to the SGC table, and this was at a smaller show in St. Louis where I picked this up. And the guy at the table, he goes, "Do you know what you have here?" So he knew what the card was. And he said, "We can't grade that here," but he said, "I'm going to give you a call." And he took all kinds of pictures of it and information, and he gave me a call back, and he said, "The higher ups don't want to grade this, but he said, if you want to sell it," he said, "I'd love to buy it from you."
What would be the reasoning? I mean, because it's a proof? I'm just curious why PSA or SGC would choose not to grade it.
Rick, you'd know more about that than me, probably. You'd have a better guess anyway.
Well, I mean, there's only a few in existence, so they're just scared. They're just scared.
Right. That makes sense.
I mean, they're just scared to what they have there, so they don't want to take a chance,
Sure.
So I think
By the way, Rick, I'm Jason. How are you?
Hey, yeah, I enjoy all your guys' channel, I don't always comment. A lot of times I'm on I shouldn't say this, I'm on the road. So
Right.
listening. So I don't obviously get a chance to comment, but no.
Yeah. I think I've been on with everybody other than you, so I had to say hello. I've been on with Eddie.
Oh, okay.
Chris
Yeah. I don't get Sammy is my new live friend now. And I don't get on too much on live at all.
I'm very honored by that, by the way, Rick.
I like this free form better than some kind of interview thing, and I'm just shoot the bull, and that's what's fun.
And Rick, you're going to Strongsville, correct? You're gonna go
No, I'm in California.
Right.
So I'm going to the National. So one trip there, my wife would, where are you going all the way to Cleveland twice in a couple months?
Right.
Not going to go for that. So I would love to. I hope you guys, because there's going to be cards, that I would love to have that I'm not going to see even at the National, but what it is,
Well, Rick, I would love to walk around with you and Dave, Blue Jacket 66, and just just peek and see what you guys even want to look at. And
It's
as
yeah,
soon
it's
as you-
funny. I'm anyone that's walked with me, I'll lose them because not that on purpose, but I'm so focused. People walk by me and they'll go and they'll think they'll introduce themselves because I'm almost like it's business for me when I'm at the national, at least the first couple days, and I don't know. It's just the way I approach it, And then afterwards is all the fun, but just that's the way
I think I would walk with you and try to keep up. And then if you picked up and looked at a card real long and then set it down and walked away from the table, I think I would buy it just
Hey,
because I knew it would be good.
I do that all the time. I'm listening, I'll be at a table that I'm interested in, and I'll notice someone that seems like they know what they're talking about, not just the dealer, but the other guy. And I'll take a second look if the guy turns it down, if it's something I'm doing that all the I even, I won't bug, the dealer. If somebody like yourself is selling that card, for instance, the one that you have up for auction, and they're trying to make a deal, I'll be off to the side totally. I'm not going to.
Sure.
But if there's something I might be interested in that the dealer's not interested in, I might, and I've done that before. Talk to the person who's selling it, and make a deal with them. I've done that with a Garrett card. Not like I said, I don't get involved with what they're doing, but if he's afterwards, so I'm always listening. I'm always, I don't know. That's just me.
I think Garrett's actually going to be in Chicago this weekend. He's at the we have our what is typically a quarterly show this weekend in Rosemont, same place the National's at. But I don't know if I'm going to get out there or not. I'm trying to save all my money for Strongsville and the National, so I'm trying to avoid the local shows. But
I mean, maybe, I would, if it were me, I'd probably just go to walk around the experience and maybe buy a small card just to say I went. But even if you don't, it's
sure. So
I don't
that's
know.
like going to Vegas and say, "Yeah, I'm not going to play poker. I swear I won't." I'm gonna go
That's
there
fair.
and spend
That's
$400 and go, "Jeez."
That's tough because it's pretty. I mean, it's next month. April is the show, right?
Yeah, end
Yeah.
of April.
Yeah.
Man, and then it's just a few months late. You have the
know.
National,
I
so
know.
you have to be strategic. If you have a
Right.
certain amount of money, I don't know. That would be tough for me. I would probably just blow it all, and then I'm going to be at the National doing what? I don't know.
That's what I think. That's exactly what I think I'm going to end up doing. I think what'll happen is Strongsville will be, all right, I'm going to buy stuff that I probably won't see anywhere else except possibly the National. And then the National will just be kind of a hangout. That's what I'm
Rick,
kind of towards.
Rick, let me ask you, do you bring any cards with you to the National to trade? Or
Yeah.
do you
All
do?
the time. Yeah, all the time. I made a trade of I've said this before. It was a red Cobb for a Warch cigar Garrick. So the Warch cigar was a 5, and the red Cobb 33 red was somebody tampered with a crease. It was a nice looking card, but it just bugged me. I've always had it, and just bugged me that I mean, they did a great job of fixing the crease and kind of coloring it in. It's hard to, it was a major crease, beautiful card, but so I traded that and the Warch. So I always bring some cards but usually you don't get, you got to be pretty good at it, or just, a lot of the dealers are going to just lowball you, they say, I'll just sell the card, or whatever.
I try to, if I know a few dealers that's going to be there, then I try to make a deal with them before.
Yeah.
Last year at Strongsville, I took a Satchel Paige rookie with me, and and I took some other post-war rookie cards because I was trying to get my SGC post-war into PSA so I could have everybody in PSA. And so I traded a Satchel Paige GAI 5.5 for a Satchel Paige 1.5. But I also within that trade, I had a Tom Seaver and an SGC 1, and I moved up to a PSA 5, and we already had the deal worked up. But I think it's a good idea to bring cards with you, and even if it's stuff, don't be afraid. I don't think you should be afraid of taking, if you want to upgrade a certain card like a mantle rookie or whatever, bring those cards with you, but have enough fortitude not to trade them without getting what you want to get, because sometimes you get caught up in the trade itself, and then next thing you know, you're walking out of there without a card. But I'll probably bring Mickey Mantle rookie with me to both shows, and if I see a better card, I can trade that card along with some cash to bring that home. But I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna make sure I still come home with a rookie Mickey Mantle, whether it's my card or their card.
Yeah, you always want to end with the best card. That's just me, I know a friend that he traded a lot of cards for a Ruth card, a Mays rookie, the Bill Russell rookie, 3 or 4 cards. And I was saying, and I basically said, ouch. And he said, ouch. But he picked up a card that he took the best card, even though he had to trade some other cards for it. So, I don't know.
Well, Eddie, and everybody here, look what our friend Eric, those back pages did at the National last year. He brought, 20 cards with him of good cards to get that 52 mantle, and the reason, and I loved his reasoning. He already picked up those cards before, so he knew he could get them again, and pay for them again. And what a trade.
But it's tough, you're tough. For, let's say if I wanted that 52 mantle, I want it. So it's tough for me to stand back and say, no, you're just there. You have to have someone with you to right next to you, just saying, hey, because it's so easy to pull the trigger. That's the problem.
That's great advice.
I don't know if I showed this on my channel, but like talking about certain cards. You mentioned Tom Seaver. I think you might have seen this, but like I picked up the 1967 Mets postcard. This is of his rookie year, and because I have this one now, I'm thinking now of moving the top 67 rookie of his to kind of maybe. I mean, the Topps rookie is worth more than this postcard, but it's, for me as a collector, I cherish this a lot more because it's during his rookie season, and it's just a great shot of him solo. And Mookie mentioned, I didn't know this because I thought it was a spring training facility, but I guess this is Shea Stadium. But just wanted to.
I think much like Chris just said, Sammy, the 67 Topps, you can get it again, right? I mean, they're out there. So even if you were to trade it or swap it out for cash to get what you want to get right now, there's always that opportunity again.
Whereas these are not
exactly
readily available.
Right.
I had to make an offer on this one off of eBay, and
that's beautiful there, Sammy.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just do a quick solo. I don't want to take away from the conversation, but it's being him, being that he's one of my favorite players to collect. My dad met him as a kid.
Right.
Goes a long way.
Greatest pitcher I ever saw.
Yeah, I was fortunately the only highly collectible vintage player that I saw as a kid was Nolan Ryan, and when he played for the Texas Rangers against the Yankees, this guy was still throwing 98 miles per hour.
Oh yeah. I think my biggest hang up in going to Strongsville is there's so much that I'm going to see that I like. The common cards, my temptation is going to be, I want to buy that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to steer away from those cards that are tougher to find. because I'm just going to walk through the maze of it all and end up buying this, this, that, and the other thing. So I'm trying to focus a little bit.
What's an example of the common card you're referring to?
Well, I'm trying to build my 56 Hall of Fame collection out. So
Okay.
I'm a little over halfway through it. So, I need a bunch of those that I would just, if I see them, I'm going to pick them up. I'm doing a White Sox, kind of a Hall of Fame run of players who have played with the team for more than 5 years. I think I took a jab at Rick at one point. Two of the guys I need, we were on a live a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about people who didn't belong in the Hall of Fame. And it was like Ray Schulk and Harold Baines, and those guys are part of this run. And I'm like, hey, Rick, you're taking a shot at all my guys. But I actually looked up the stats of Ray Schulk, and I said, holy cow, he's right. I'm like, what in the world? So, but I'm the rarer stuff is I'm looking for a Ray Schulk Cracker Jack I've mentioned before, and an American Caramel of a Harry Hooper card, and some other things. So Gaudy, which isn't terribly uncommon, the 34 Gaudy of Luke Appling. So just a couple things that I'm kind of focusing that for Strongsville and then after Strongsville comes the National, and if it's less money, then I'll pick up the $80, $90, Rizzuto's in a 4 and an SGC 456 Rizzuto and things like that. So
I have a 56 Rizzuto I can sell to you.
So fun. I just saw Garrett just posted a video right before this live, and he was flipping through stuff, and I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that. I want that. And if he's gonna be in Chicago, I'm like, maybe I do need to take a run out to, it's in the suburb not too far from where I live.
Right.
Same place the National is. So I'll just kind of swing out there and end up. I know you said, just say hello and swing on by. I know I'll end up buying a couple cards. So
he'll be at Strongsville as well.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Garrett. We'll have to make sure we check his ID before he walks in.
Okay.
I think. Well, I think Chris was telling or just mentioning earlier how hard it is to get a drink. I've said to myself, I'm gonna bring about a case of beer and just put it in the car. I'm driving, and then if needs be, I don't have to wait. We can all just sit in the lobby and have one.
Oh, believe me, after 7.5 hours, you better believe that bartender's going to know me on a first name basis.
That's my fear is it's going to take
Hey,
45
you
minutes
guys,
to get a drink.
you guys have trouble getting. I know you guys are fairly big guys, but you're going to have trouble getting to the bar if Canadian Mike is thirsty.
Well, that's why I'm going to follow suit with Jason and just bring a case of beer. I plan on making Brian go crazy in the car by blasting Metallica, maybe some Pantera and some other stuff.
Dang it, Sammy! I knew I liked you for a reason. We got the same musical taste too.
Yeah, just and
I'll lend you some Slayer. You can listen to that too.
Yeah, there you go, man. The big four.
Rick, if we rode in the car with them, we'd want to kill a cat when we got outside.
I know my wife
might
does.
have to have them pull over every 10 minutes to go to the bathroom. That's my
Chris, you can ride with me. Are you good with Steely Dan?
Yeah, no, I'm
okay.
I'm everything.
Hop in with me.
The same year was Steely Dan, same era as Steely Dan, but not Steely Dan. How about that?
It's not pre-war enough for me. I'll play some Django Reinhardt for you. How about that?
And Jeannie says Judas Priest. That worked too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, and I think the first time when I was still lurking, commenting on Mangini's one of his videos, he was doing his workout in the garage and he was playing Rush, and Rush is my favorite band of all time. It's my favorite band of all time.
Yeah.
So when he was playing Rush, I think that might have been one of the first times I commented on someone's video. I'm like, hey, good choice of music.
Greatest drummer ever, Neil Peart.
100%. Him and John.
Man, I think I like everything because I'm looking at the comments and I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I like all music. Maybe
Doobie Brothers. That requires.
Very good. Now, Eddie, I heard you mention, I was jumping on at the time. You are going to the National. Are you targeting anything specific, or do you want to tell anybody?
Rammstein.
Confirmed. I'm not shy about talking about what I'm after, partially because I'm hoping someone will make note of it, either physically or mentally, and maybe I get a text, hey, there's a card over here that you might like. Now to just rattle off my list without without having it in front of me, it's a little harder. Lou Rock mentioned Garrick DeLong in the comments because he said, "Hey, if Chris gets 10,000 for his 53 Bowman print, you know, he can go after the DeLong Garrick," or maybe he was suggesting it. I don't know, but it reminded me that I want the Mickey Cochran DeLong. I've wanted a DeLong card for a long time, and I sort of landed on Cochran because he's a Hall of Famer. He's in catching gear. He's in like a cool, like getting into a squat position. And actually it says Gordon Mickey Cochran. So it's got his nickname and his actual name. And it's just a cool card. It's a cool set.
Yeah, very cool
So
set.
I would say that. I would like the 67 Brooks Robinson short print. If I can find one that's reasonable. What else have I talked about? I don't know. It's not coming to me right now, but stuff like that. Always looking for like really cool Harvey Haddock stuff. I don't know if everyone knows who he is, but he's a common player that I collect from the 50s and 60s. But he's got like some really scarce stuff that I just never see on eBay or whatever. Things like that. Stuff for the Seattle sports collection. I'm really targeting a Griffey auto. I don't have one. It's kind of embarrassing. So I'd like to remedy that, and just stuff like that. And failing that, I can always find stuff. If you gave me 10 grand, I would spend it, and I would be thrilled to have whatever I have, even if I went in without a checklist or a want list, because I just love baseball cards.
I'm the same way. A lot of like Chris and Rick have been doing this for a while, so they've got pretty extensive collections. I haven't been doing it as long, so
yeah,
all the common cards are the cards that I'm snagging up now. The 58s and the 57s and the 56s, and it's just I hear a lot. I've mentioned in the past. I hear a lot in the community. People are sizing down their collections and trying to focus on quality, and I'm like the complete opposite. I'll buy it all, and I want the quantity. I want a good, well-rounded display of different cards, and that's what I like.
Yeah, when I decided to really focus more on vintage, probably about 3 years ago, I made up a list of I want to get at least one card for each of these sets because they're kind of like iconic sets. So T206 might be an example, or Tattoo Orbit, or 52 Tops, just things like that. And so I've knocked off some of those, but there's still some of those to go, and they don't necessarily have to be any particular one card from that set, but just something that's meaningful. So an example for T205, I got a card of Jimmy Austin, and Jimmy Austin was in glory of their times, first off. And secondly, have you ever seen the real famous photo of Ty Cobb sliding into third base, and there's like dust flying up, and you can see the ball flying away?
Yes.
And it's said to be the most famous baseball photograph of all time. Charles Conlon took it. Anyway, the other player is Jimmy Austin, played third base for the Highlanders. And so I have this card. It's common, but to me, it's a really cool card because I like glory of their time so much. And then I have that tie-in with, I also like Ty Cobb. So it's things like that allow me to get cards and not like totally break the bank where I'm spending thousands of dollars that I don't even have. So one other card I thought of when I was giving my big speech about Jimmy Austin, the 48 or 49 Leaf, if you prefer, Honus Wagner, where he's old man, he's taking the dip. Now that was one card. I was in Atlantic City, and I had that on my want list then, and I did not see a single one. And someone told me that if you don't see something at the National, it doesn't exist. And that's not true. Right, Rick?
Right.
And so I'm still looking for it. I'm looking for a copy, a one, that's decent, probably $300. So if you see one, hit me up, just comment on a video or something, and I'll come find you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Rick,
Sam,
I'd ask you what you're getting, but you have it all. You've got everything.
you said that about Rick, right?
Yes.
He has one of the greatest collection that we see on YouTube here.
He's got it all. Actually, Rick got me hooked on, and I'm keeping an eye out at Strongsville. The Colgan chips between you and John Mangini.
I would have.
Watched your videos and kind of got hooked on those. You were even showing the tins, and I'm like, wow, this is really neat. And I went online and I saw one, three of the cards or three of the discs. It was Tinkers, Evers, and Chance. All three of them. The guy was selling them at one time. I'm like, that is cool. That is so cool.
Yeah, they look great in person. I mean, those Colgan's chips are, you don't have to spend a lot of money for it.
I got one here handy.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you made a good example of, like, you want to get a card from a set because you think it's a cool set, but you don't necessarily have to buy a Hall of Famer if you can make it personal to you.
Right.
And so this is Ed Summers, and I have a collection of knuckleballers, pardon me, and he's basically one of the pioneers. And I bought this ungraded and was so impressed with it that I thought, well, I'll just send it off, and ended up with a 4. And of course, I don't really care about that, but it had to be an SGC because they do a really good job with the framing of the chip. Whereas PSA, they have this thing where it slides all around and looks all goofy.
Right.
But anyway, another example, like I don't have to save up $10,000 to get the Cobb or whatever of this. I still have a cool chip, and I love it.
Sure. Hey, so Sammy, I'm gonna get off of here now. I was on with Greg last night, Darren the night before, Mike the night before that, and I've been talking to Don way too much on the telephone. So but Sammy, before I go, tell your buddy B Roth that he mentioned that it was either an Adobe leaf that he had, or a Kell leaf of the 48, 49. I'm looking for both of those. If he has either or, tell him I'm very interested. Okay.
I know he does have the Adobe. I'll reach out to him and let him know.
Okay. And yeah, maybe we can either trade or maybe he can sell it to me if he can save it till Strongsville. So
yeah, hey, Chris, good luck with the auction. We'll all be following. So
yeah, good luck.
I appreciate. Hey Rick, I appreciate it. I'd appreciate it more if you'd spend $20,000 on it, but but hey guys, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
See you, Chris.
See you, Chris.
See you.
Yeah, I'm gonna bail too. My battery's going on me, and I gotta get dinner going. So thanks, Sammy, for hosting as always, and thanks guys for hanging out with me.
We'll see you, Eddie.
See you, Eddie.
All right. Eddie.
And then there were 3.
Yeah, so I had to. I jumped on, Sammy, because I think last time you had your vintage chat and chill, I was getting ready to play poker.
Yeah, that's right.
And you were asking, I'm like, oh, he plays. Maybe I should bring the poker chips to Strongville and the National. We can all just set up in the lobby.
You should. I would love to play some poker.
Yeah, $5 a guy or something fun, because you don't want to waste your money on poker when we're at a card show.
Yeah, I don't know if Mangini's still here, but he was asking me to do the impersonation.
It was an A+.
Rick, have you heard it yet?
Tell him only if he gets on the chat.
That's right. There needs to be 2 Manginis on.
Yeah, that's what it could be battling Manginis.
Yeah.
Hey man, I think you should join the live stream, and talk about some rare vintage baseball cards, just to spice things up. Because you know what I said. My room is a complete mess. It's a pigsty. I got all these cards lying around on the floor. I found another 58 Willie Mays All-Star. It was just landing on my foot. Too many of these, man. All too many. So, Mangini, please, come on, man. Anyway.
That is phenomenal. I know Mookie spilled the beans on that. I think Mookie said on one of his videos that you were doing imitations when you guys were going to the Philly show.
Well, we were coming back from the Philly show, and so we're coming back, and I'm in the back seat, and I just start kind of just trying different voices just to see what it would, and I was able to just get John's voice, spot on according to Mookie. So I was like, all right. So I was like, all right, I'll create a video, send it to John in Orlando, and see if they'll give me their blessing to post it. And so John was cool with it.
Yeah, all in fun. I thought it was hilarious.
But I can sort of imagine John being in his room, in his card room, walking around, steps on a card like a 58 Mays All-Star, and be like, huh, how did that get out?
I thought this is my 5th one of those.
And like the 68 Maris, I can sort of picture him having a Hall of Fame box that is filled with 68 Topps Hall of Famers.
Sure.
So to me, it's not a stretch. But anyway, Rick looks like you're like backing away further from the camera.
My neck is bothering me. When you get old like me, you wake up in the morning, something's always aching. So this morning was my neck. So what can I tell you?
Now, Rick, when you were at the National last year, did you walk? Were you with Mangini? Did you guys walk together, or?
Oh, so we roomed together. So
okay.
I tried to lose them, but it was hard to do. Yeah, for the most part.
I met several of you guys briefly. There were so many people, and at the time I wasn't doing any of this, so it was just kind of that one-day shoot. And I live in the area, so I only went for the one day. My intention was to go 2 days in a row, and I spent all my money on the first day. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not going back. So, it just so happened to coincide. I think the YouTube visit on a Thursday, or was it a Friday?
Thursday and Friday, but Thursday was Mike's.
Yes. So I went to Mike's on Thursday. So
yeah, the Friday one, I can't remember what's his name who hosted that at the bar.
Filmington.
That's right. Yeah, that place filled up very quickly.
Was that at the pizza? Was that at Giordano's, the pizza place?
No, it was at Lowell's, the hotel. Lowell's Hotel.
Okay, yeah. Oh no, Mike brought in Giordano's for the Thursday one. That's what it was. There was actually pizza there.
There he is.
All right, guys. You're going to bust my chops, do it to my face.
Come on.
Mr. Mangini, how are you, sir? It's my first time on with you. I'm Jason.
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yeah, so you're a Rush fan.
I am. I think one of my first comments was to you when you were working out to it. So
yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends, and my best friend at the time, when I was in high school, he was a drummer, really good drummer. In fact, he just joined a band here not so long ago. But he was a huge Rush fan, so he turned me on to them.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to them for decades.
Great band.
And that song I played is very obscure.
Rush has a lot of obscure. Yeah. Well, was it off of 2112?
No.
I
have. Oh man, I forget the name of that album. It's
Hemispheres. It's got to be Hemispheres. 2112 might be.
It's on a compilation, so I take that back. I don't know what album it's from, but I don't have the album. That was the first time I ever heard that song. But they jam on there. Yes. They just jam. But I always liked Temples of Sphinx, and that kind of stuff. Like they're more obscure stuff.
Yeah, that's 2112. That's my favorite album. Temple of Spheres is off of 2112.
You know how it comes full circle is that Geddy Lee is a huge baseball collector.
Yeah.
So he actually donated a good portion of his autographed. He had art baseballs and autographed baseballs. He donated them to the Negro League Hall of Fame in Kansas City.
Yeah, I saw that. He had an amazing baseball collection.
Yeah.
He had tons of them.
So when you go through, I went through the museum, and it was like 2 for 1 for me because there was a little plaque that donated by Geddy Lee, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I've got family who goes to the University of Kansas, so we were there quite a bit. So I got to go through that museum and the Jazz Museum, which is right next door. So it's a lot of fun.
Cool. There was we had I used to play a lot of golf, and they put in this fancy golf course near me. It's called Totter Ridge outside of Pittsburgh. And I had a friend that lived on there. He bought an old farmhouse right on one of the fairways. and he was calling everybody. He's like, you guys got to come sit on my back porch and watch, because it was Getty Lee, Tiger Woods, Rocco Mediate, and Michael Jordan. I think was the fourth. They were coming through in a foursome,
They're
because
probably gambling.
Rocco Mediate was from my hometown. I used to
Right.
golf with his uncle and dad, and he brought them out there to play.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so he
Michael-
sat out there and drank and watched them go around.
Yeah, I watched Michael and Getty. Those are two of my like big heroes. You know, I'm a Michael guy and a Rush guy. So
Yeah, so I was in the travel business, and when I was young, my family was, and I flew to Toronto, and I noticed on my ticket it said YYZ, and I'm like,
Right.
and I put it all together because they were
Yes.
from Canada, and then I finally knew why they named that song that.
Yes, but they call it YYZ in Canada. It's YYZ. The
Okay.
Z is Z. You know, so that's
That's the Toronto
debate.
airline code.
Yeah.
I once messaged Getty Lee to see if he would come on my channel. I didn't get a response.
Nothing. Huh?
Really?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Well, you
I got
shouldn't have
nothing.
impersonated him. Maybe he would have come on.
maybe. Yeah, I mean, it worked for you. It worked for you. Thank you for being a good sport about that.
Oh, come on. I joke all the time. I bust everybody's chops. In
That's
fact,
perfect.
Chris and Mike, I hope they weren't, I hope they know that was all in fun, that video I did. I mean, I'm always busting chops doing impersonation.
Oh, I watched it. You were protecting Theo. You were protecting the
But I have to know.
I mean, you could see me kind of holding in laughter the whole time.
Oh, right. Of course.
But I have to know, has that ever, I mean, I made that up on the spot in terms of like stepping on cards and having it getting stuck on your foot. I sort of want to believe that's happened to you.
Well, I'm not that bad that I would step on my Willie Mazes. But you're not wrong about having boxes filled of, I have at least like good solid starter sets from like the early 1900s on. So I do have a whole box filled with 68s among all the other sets.
Yeah.
I have a hoarding problem.
I'm the same
So
way.
my wife says.
You've just been doing it a lot longer and had a lot more knowledge. My hoarding problem started watching all of you guys, and I said, I got to go out and catch up to these guys. That's impossible.
That's a good topic. Is I think a lot of people get wrapped up in that, kind of almost keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak, for lack of a better word, better phrase. When you start to do YouTube videos, and you want to kind of keep coming up with content and maybe you order things to show. I think everybody can get wrapped up in that a little bit.
Yeah, I think what I've seen lately a lot, and a lot of channels enjoy what you have. I've seen a couple channels do that, and I'm at the point now, particularly because I'm not buying, because I'm saving for the next two shows, so I haven't been buying anything. So
Yeah.
I'm enjoying what I have, and that's pulling. And I'm pulling out basketball. I'm going to be pulling out football, and that's just a little bit of hockey. And I was even going to do something on the quote unquote, because I love it, John. There's no such thing as junk wax, because all cards are great cards.
That's right. I mean,
I was going to steal that from you and go, there's no such thing as junk wax. These are awesome cards too. So
don't you call my cards junk?
Exactly right.
You can love a $10,000 card and a $1 card equally. That's possible.
Correct.
I mean, you're not gonna get a lot for one if you sell it, but if you're like me, I don't ever sell anything. So who cares?
Yeah, never sold in my life. I haven't even traded, so I've never sold or traded. So,
do people get? This is going to be more. This is going to go kind of philosophical here, and I hope it doesn't go down a rabbit hole. But do people like buying cards for the potential value that they have in the long run, or like what? I know everybody has a different answer to this, but how do you get inside someone's head when they make a decision on buying a card? Are they seeing dollar signs down the line when death comes knocking on their door, or are they appreciating it more and differently depending on what the card is?
I think you see. So, from what I've seen, when people are asking me questions, like friends of mine, because my channel is brand new, I have no followers. You guys are much bigger. But when people ask me questions and they equate it to value, me personally, I don't do that. That's probably why I linked into a lot of channels like John's, and I just don't link into value. So I'm not buying a card because it's going to increase or decrease. Because at the end of the day, they're going to my family. They're going to my kids. I'm gonna die with these cards, and someone else can. The only reason they might even be getting graded is for the potential turnaround on what expected value will be then when I'm gone. They'll be able to find that quicker. And quite honestly, with this whole SGC PSA thing, I'm becoming get off my lawn guy, and I'm thinking I'm just going ungraded again, and I'll just put them. But I always try to equate, particularly new collectors, and I've been doing this forever, but not as heavily as you guys have. But I just tell people, it's so cliche, collect what you like, but at the same point in time, quit equating value to it. To me, it almost becomes not fun then at that point in time. If I want to buy a 59 Jim Bunning, I'm going to buy a 59 Jim Bunning. That's a cool card. I like it. It doesn't.
That's a great card.
Of course I want my 56 Mantle, and I want a 56 Maze, and I want all those, higher priced cards as far as those kind of cards go. But man, it's just I don't like equating value, and that I linked into you, John, because of those things that you had said when I was watching you guys. I'm like, yeah, that's it, man. And you know what's cool? A 1985 Topps Kirby Puckett is a cool card. It is a cool card. So that's that's what it is.
Yeah, I'll be right back. It's that.
Yeah,
it's
so
that
Sammy,
time of I'm old, so you'll.
Nah, he's gonna take a pee break.
We'll be here. What are you gonna say, John?
I was going to say that I think there's more people in the hobby today than ever before that collect for the value, and a lot of people that sell a lot. I think more so than ever before. Like you collect, but you also sell.
Yeah.
Dylan's on Whatnot, but he also collects. So there's a lot of that going on where, which is cool if you love to collect, because you're kind of making a business out of your hobby and what you love. Now, for me, I don't ever buy a card for what I think it'll be worth in the future. Never. But I think all of us, if we're going to shell out $3 or $4 or $5 or $100 or $1,000 for a card, we want to know that should you have to sell it, or all this money you put into your collection, somebody's going to get something out of it later. But that said, I don't buy from that mindset, and I never talk about price. I never talk about what I pay. I never talk about what something's worth. And I get a lot of people that ping me, asking me, "Do you mind if I ask you what you paid for that, or what's that worth, or what's that box worth?" Or even when people come into my room, "What's your most expensive card? What's this room worth?" And my wife laughs. She'll be like, "You can ask him, but he ain't gonna answer you." And so, like, when I get those messages, I don't even respond. And there's always people trying to buy my cards too. I was like, "No, I share my collection. This is my cards. Like, they're not for sale." So anyway, I think there's definitely a mixture. It just depends on what you're in it for.
That's a good point. I'm just gonna bring Lou in now.
Oh boy, did you get his impersonation down yet?
I'm working on it. I was told by Lou. I was commissioned to do an impersonation of you. I don't think I have it down.
I was mad.
Now that's easy. All you have to do is put a Yankees hat on backwards, get a bourbon, and go Lou Rock TV.
You gotta do it with swag, though. You gotta have some swag.
Yo, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Lou Rock TV.
There you go.
Yo, Bob, where you at?
So I'm gonna be with Lou in a week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, man.
What do you guys? What kind of
going down to Bradenton?
Oh,
I'm gonna
nice.
go see O'Neill Cruz play.
Yeah, weren't you guys chatting about that? It was on the Misfits Live. Were you talking about that on Misfits Live? I was watching that.
Yeah, I think we mentioned.
So you're the one. Hey, John, he's the one that was watching.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I'm the one.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it, Jason.
Now, Lou, you are going to the National this year?
Yeah, brother. Yeah, last year I
Oh.
couldn't do it because of my daughter's quinceañera is a big deal.
Yeah.
Spanish culture. But this year I am there. Got a nice little Airbnb with the Misfits and some special guests because it's not house. Apparently it's humongous, so we got the extra room, and I cannot wait. Got a nice little healthy budget. I'm probably gonna blow past it. I told my wife what I'm gonna spend. I'm probably gonna pass that. But,
Is the special guest a Misfits candidate?
they might think they are.
Well, I know
The
it's not
Misfits
Jake,
is a secret society. We can't speak about anything.
I just know it's not Jake because Jake is staying with me, Dom, and Drew of Vintage Legacy. So we're staying at the Enterprise Hotel, whatever. No, what is it called? And I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Enterprise Hotels or something like that.
Hey,
you guys
I'm
you're all
supposed
booked
to
up for
see
the
Drew.
National? I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to say I'm supposed to see Drew in April. He reached out to me.
Oh, nice.
Well, you guys are nearby. That's right. You guys are not too far.
He's going to be here. His daughter has something going on or something.
What were you going to ask, Jason?
So you're all booked. I am not booked up for the National. I booked up for Strongsville. I haven't even booked up for the National.
Yeah, you probably want to get
You better start.
Yeah.
we booked this.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I mean,
Well, I'm driving, so even if I had to drive to it, I don't. I'm driving from Chicago area, so it's a 5-hour drive from either way. If I got to stay a couple miles out and drive, I'll deal with it. Doesn't bother me much.
I'm sure you'll be able to.
Like 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes out. We're not right there on property or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not like Chicago, right? There's only 1 or 2 hotels by the show, if I'm not mistaken.
It's spread. From what I understand, it's pretty spread apart. The location is not very. You can't walk to this place.
Right.
Yeah, but it's Cleveland, so man, there's endless hotels. I used to go to conventions there all the time.
House. Stay at Mr. and Mrs. Reindeer's house.
But
Lou,
it's not always an advantage. What's that?
I got a bunch of slabs in today. Look at this.
Stacks. I'm stacking, bro.
Stacks.
Those things remind me of the CSGs. They're like crystal clear. It's almost like having glass. The clarity.
Hey, I heard somebody talking about Colgan's chips when I first jumped on.
Yeah, that was me. I was commenting to Rick and you, saying you guys kind of got me hooked on those by watching your
I love that set.
Hey, John, what do you prefer, the 35 or the 55, bro? What are you getting? Or whatever is available.
Hold on, what?
What do you prefer, 35 point or 55 point or whatever is available?
For my regular cards?
Yeah.
Well, of course, 35.
Well, I mean, Jason was getting.
I actually
55.
prefer 20 for vintage, but they don't make 20 in these. They make them in regular magnetic.
I think they stopped making them. Ultra Pro used to make 20. I don't see 20s anymore.
Well, you can find them in the black border, the black ones.
Oh yeah.
At least up until a few months ago, you could. I haven't gotten any in a while since I discovered these babies. But I used to get the 20s because sometimes the older cardboard cards are just a little loose in there, just a tad. But I don't want to move them at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely 35. I mean, 55 is for some of the
more modern, right?
thinner. Even for the modern, 35 is good. I think just the thinner, like jersey cards, is like for the 55.
Maybe that's what he was going for because he was telling me he's getting a whole bunch of 55s. I'm like, bro, I don't want my card. I think that's still too much to give.
You know what? Who said that?
Fisher Bike. Jason. He was getting a whole bunch of
I assume he's getting those for relic cards.
Yeah, relics, because those are thick.
Yeah, because most relics are either 55 or 75.
Yes.
Most of them, the thinner ones. And then they have the big thick ones.
Did you just crack one, Sammy?
Yeah, I did.
All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to do the same.
Zadie's locker.
Salud. Hey, John, throw your vitamin water up. I know you always got vitamin water.
I don't have it this time because I was putting sleeves on all of these and listening to the live, and then they go to me and they're coming on.
That's the
So I
biggest.
have a
I'll
lot
tell
of
you,
work left to do because I have another stack
this,
of
hey,
slabs
this
over
mother
there.
trucker puts on sleeves on his cards, but I have never seen him with a shirt with sleeves. It makes no sense.
I know it's a total contradiction, Lou.
You're like an onion, bro. So many layers to you.
This
But
is
it's beautiful.
champagne of the
Well, I was
Midwest.
gonna go work out, and
Cheers,
so I
cheers.
got dressed and ready to go work out. Took a pre-workout, and then my parents called me, and I was on the phone for like 2 hours with them. And as soon as I got off with them, I uploaded my video, which is hopefully uploading right now, or uploaded. And then I started. Then at that time I didn't feel like working out anymore. I was late.
I was just talking to Snoop. He just uploaded first time in a long time. So
Yeah, I
watched
saw that. He was sick. He had some real bad bronchial problem.
That's good. He sounded good on the phone. I was like, bro, I gotta get off, man. These guys want me on the stream. He's like, all right, I'll let you go.
Yeah. No, that's,
I am just surrounded by cards right now. I mean, this is just like my my happy place.
You know,
Oh
It
wait,
is.
I just stepped on a
it feels
Willie
great to have
Mays.
so many cards. You know, just wrapped, just layer me in a quilt of cards. I wish that could happen. Just
Layer me in a quilt of cards. Hey, Rick's got those quilts or the silks from back in the day.
Well, you know, like everybody gets, some people only want to collect tens and only slabbed and only centered and only this and only that. Man, I love them all. I love them all. I don't care.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
I don't
All
care.
of them.
you are the speaker of the vintage people.
I'll tell you what, sometimes there are some, like I was showing miscut cards on my video tonight, but sometimes there's off-center cards that I specifically buy over centered cards just because, for whatever reason, that card just speaks to me. Like there's some feng shui or something, that card just looks really good to me that way. So that's how I pick all my cards. I don't have these stringent rules.
I am not a centered freak. I know that's the thing. I'm in the printing trade, so I think of the quality control that was happening in the 50s and the 60s, and that's how they came out of the packs. They came out of the pack 70-30, and
Yeah.
that's what it was. So to me, it doesn't draw away from me. And quite honestly, if I can get it for a couple bucks cheaper because it's 70-30 instead of 60-40, I'm in on that all day long.
Yeah, I've always been, my first thing is always the registration and clarity. I don't want stuff on somebody's face or, specs or anything like that. Like that's why I'm very particular, like buying 54 tops, because those are just notorious for that. And I'm a bit of a centering junkie, but I'm not a freak about it.
Right.
Most of my cards are centered, and that's usually what appeals to me, but not always. Not always.
I mean,
And
yeah,
corners
we all
definitely are
gravitate.
the least for me. Like, I don't care that much about soft corners.
Lou, I was going to say, if Theo miraculously somehow passes up on this, I'll let you know.
Oh, he already shot it at you? I think I shot you a message because I
You
don't have
did.
a
I responded back by.
Well, now, why would you let Lou know before me? I was on here first.
You already have 3 of them, probably.
I don't have that card. I need that card.
Well, Theo. So I was setting up at a show on Sunday, and Theo saw that I had it, and literally maybe about a half hour before the show starts, he goes, "Don't sell that card." And I'm like, "Okay." And so we're doing the deal tomorrow. So, but I think he's pretty committed to it.
I don't know. I just texted him. He said I could have it.
Yeah.
Theo collects Clementi cards.
I have a lot of those, but I don't have the Clemente.
Hey, after the showcase showdown between Mike and Chris just left, but they have been crushing him. He's got to change his name.
I thought John had a score of about like 8,000 though.
Yeah.
But in his defense, if they would go with non-tops cards or non-base issue, he'd kill them.
Who would?
Of course.
Like if you went with non-tops cards, like, oh my God, I could go on for 2 hours. Like Clemente's best cards are not the tops cards. Like his rarest and best, in my opinion.
his stickers, his inserts. Shoot, 64 has all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you got the IDL, the Cons, the 65 McGregor. You got
How about the
just.
don't
I mean,
forget
the
the
list goes
72
on and
top.
on. The Supers, the KDKs, the East Hills.
That's 72 tops right there. Try to find one in mint condition.
Nabisco Team Flakes, the Atlantic
Oh, the Nabisco,
Oil.
nice.
What do you guys? So, you guys, since you're here, I figured I'd ask you about this. I'm going to present this on screen if I can. Let me see. Hang on a second.
You're fancy.
Yeah. Okay. The Robert Gould All Stars.
Yep.
What can you guys tell me a little bit about this? Because I see that there's an offer available for me, and it's a really cool looking card. I don't see these too often, but I hear that this set is pretty stellar.
Sounds pretty dope.
Just thought
Stellar how?
Well, for me, when I look at this, I just, for one thing, I like the design of the card in particular, the statistics, the little sketch of Mays. I don't know enough about the Robert Gould All Stars set, so I figured if you guys are here, I'd ask you about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that much about it. I know the set, and he also made little statues. Those are kind of scarce too.
Interesting.
But I don't really know how it was distributed or anything like that.
Well, there's usually where the little indention is on each side, you would have like a rubber band type thing. So a lot of times you see them only in a 1 or authentic because the rubber band, which the statue was attached to, I believe, would crease the card or.
Oh, Rick, so those came with the statues.
Yeah,
they weren't separate issues.
No, so that's where you see a little groove. That's where the band would be holding the statue.
I was wondering about that because it definitely did have a groove. Right, exactly what you're mentioning, Rick.
Yeah, so a lot of times you see them a 1, basically, but so a 3 would be a fairly high grade for one of those. I don't have one. They don't. I mean, you would think I would be interested. I don't know, just for whatever reason, it doesn't interest me that much because they're pretty expensive too.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just I could come up with better cards for me for the money.
No, that's kind of that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's a cool looking card.
Yeah, but I mean, you could promote that as the first die cut, the first die cut card.
So
those statues are tough to find, and they're pricey too.
Is it a blank back?
They're kind of cool. They're kind of cool.
Let me see. I'm going through the eBay. It doesn't show the back to it, so I don't know.
Because it almost sounds like if it was part of the packaging, it's probably a blank back.
I would think so.
Wrapped around.
No, they're blank. They're blank backs. I looked it up on these cards. Blank back cards.
You can find the statues too. So I think if I had the Mays or one,
I was shopping for one. I really want the Richie Ashburn. That's my favorite one, and I just forgot about them, quite honestly. I used to have a search on eBay, and I used to search for those, but they were pretty pricey for a little. They're like a little tiny thing.
Hey, Sammy, there's no, it's 54. I was gonna say they have a Willie Mays 371 on there right now.
For the statue?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's the
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of money for that little thing.
No, I'm not so much into the figurines. I mean, that's kind of like why I like collecting the transogram cards, but not the figurines.
Like I'll take it if it was in the box.
No, I mean, listen, I do it all day, but the box intact with the card and like everything and all together, it's ridiculous how expensive they are.
Okay, hey John, that Richie Ashburn, there's one on 149 or best offer. He's like
149.
Is that the one?
Yeah, isn't that a cool image?
Yeah, it's pretty dope. 149 or best offer.
Is it graded, Lou, or
No, but I'm sure someone's tried.
How big
You,
are
ever-
they?
you guys ever see these little heads?
They look small.
Hold on. I'll solo you so you can zoom in.
I've never seen those.
These are
John looks
Colgate.
like a serial killer.
These are Colgate. Bobby Orr and Ken Dryden.
I love how you have them
Colgate,
ready
like
to
the
go.
toothpaste?
Like
They're-
they're like it's incredible. You have everything at arm's length.
Well, not everything,
Surrounded.
but you were talking figures, so I have those sitting out.
But
You know,
didn't
where
have to
else are
get
you going
up.
to store them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean the things I'm looking for at Strongsville, if it's possible to obtain, or even the National, and which, going to Strongsville for the first time, so I really don't know what to expect outside of it being a vintage haven. But like I'm looking at this now, the only 52 Coca-Cola tips of Willie Mays is selling for about $40,000, and it's a PSA 3.5. And so I saw one that sold back in November that was with, forgive me if I don't get the grading company right, GAI?
GAI, yeah, there's a GAI.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a GAI that sold, that was a 1.5 that sold for $2,500. And, for that price, I would have done that because based on the photos, it looked like it was in decent shape. But you just don't see those that often, and it's just such I love the look of it. It's Willie Mays holding a glass bottle of Coke. It celebrates, him being a superstar and the schedule, and
that's what
Well,
Dave
Sammy, I
has-
have.
Dave has one of those.
Yeah, I saw Dave's video on it. It was stellar. I mean, his was, I think his is in an SGC, if I'm not mistaken.
He thought that price was absurd.
I'm sure. I mean, $40,000 is a lot of dough. I mean, I would never buy it for $40,000.
Well, you influenced me because I never really considered that a card before. But you had me looking into it a little bit differently, and I guess it is a card. I always considered it an advertisement, and therefore just like paid it no mind, to be honest.
Well, here's
But
yeah.
you have me rethinking that because I do believe it's a card now.
Well, it's all subjective. I mean, here the thing is, what makes that collectible. I guess you call it a card, collectible, however you want to call it. What makes it so unique is that it brings in two different types of collectors. It brings in baseball enthusiasts, collectors of baseball cards and collectibles and memorabilia. But then you also have the Coca-Cola collectors that come in and want that stuff too. So that when you have two worlds colliding, you're going to have prices go way up because of that. So it's
And general advertising collectors. There's people out there just collecting general advertising. So
Yeah, I have to believe that the people those big time Coke collectors have to be getting less and less as time goes on, don't you think? I mean, the younger kids were into Pepsi. They weren't into Coke like back in the day. I am. That's my preference, but
I remember the dancing Pepsi can. I remember those. But yeah, I don't. It's there's the Laughlin 75 Seaver or the Maze Super Stand Up. I'd love to find one of those, or a 54 Stahlmeyer Maze and a SGC Authentic or one if possible, because I know I can't afford anything beyond that.
John's like,
you mentioned Laughlin.
Yeah, I'll zoom in on that.
These are Laughlin.
Yeah, those are
This
cool,
is
man.
this is a signed Spud Chandler, and this is the wrapper.
I love that you keep the wrappers, man.
That's
awesome.
pretty cool.
that is very cool.
So for those,
You're right. I do have everything at my fingertips.
You do, man. You do. But yeah, the Laughlin stuff, the super stand-ups in particular, they were distributed out of Baseball Nostalgia, which is it was a shop, in Cooperstown that was open for 40 plus years. And I've been to it a couple times. It's actually, I remember going there and I bought, they had a deal where if you buy more than $50 worth of stuff, they give you they give you an autograph of a Hall of Famer that's like for that particular week. And when I went there, I got a nice like 5x7 autograph of Monty Irvin. Gave it to my grandfather because he was a huge New York Giants fan. So I felt like it was only right. But yeah, that shop was great, and they had the Laughlin Super Stand-Ups. And if you haven't seen these, they have Mantle, they have Ruth, they have Gehrig, they have Stan Musial, they have Ted Williams, Willie Mays. The Willie Mays I saw in person, and I'm trying to think who else. Clemente's in there. I mean, huge. I mean, every star you can think of.
What does the Musial go for typically?
I think there's one. I don't know if it's the Ted Williams that's going on eBay right now or the Stan, but I think if it is the Stan, and I did see it on eBay, it was probably going for like $2,000. The thing is that they're not, they're big, so they're not as appealing to your everyday collector because you have to either frame it or get a huge top loader and place it somewhere.
Sure.
So,
well, I collect the Johnny Pros.
Those are cool, man. Let's take a look at that.
This is man, there are very few of these in existence. Johnny,
what is that, John? That is awesome.
Johnny Pro.
Okay.
Showing Johnny.
Yeah, so Johnny Pro in 1973 they made Baltimore Orioles, and they're big stand-ups. And then in 1974, they made the Philadelphia Phillies. And there's a fantastic Steve Carlton and Mike Schmidt and Greg Luzinski. So they made that for the whole team. So I have those two. And then in 76, they made the Philadelphia 76ers. And I have that one too. But they left off Dr. J. So that would be the best one. But they have the rest of the team.
I'm trying to think who was on the. So I was like 3 years old in '76. So who was on the '76 team?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Was there Earl Monroe on that team? Was he on the '76 team?
Man, I haven't looked at those in so long. I got to go back and look.
Yeah, I can't think of any. Like '82 was my first record. They won the NBA title in '82 or '83, I think. That was like the Moses Malone, Maurice Cheek.
Oh yeah, that's '83. This is
that's
76.
'83.
Yeah. 83 was I think it was 83.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
Who's George McGinnis, I think, is the biggest name in there.
Okay.
I think. Do I have those handy? Let's see. I might.
At his fingertips.
John, it's probably in your hallway as you're going to the bathroom.
Right.
I'm wondering if I was going to ask Rick. Rick, do you have this Mathewson in your collection? I'm going to show it on screen.
Oh, I do have them here.
No. That's thousands of dollars.
That's sick.
Okay.
No, that's
what year is
that?
1910.
1910 American die cut. It's American caramel, each 125. It's
What are they asking for that?
Oh, this is just on PSA. I don't know. Let me take a look. So the last time this sold was, or at least from PSA, December 9th, 2019, sold an authentic altered sold for $870. That was on Robert Edwards. That was an REA.
How much was it?
You're probably talking 5,000 plus, 5,000 maybe for that.
Yeah.
There's a couple on Love the Game auction. There's a Mordecai Brown or a Home Run Baker. There's a couple on there.
Mordecai
auction. But those are tough to find. But Mathewson, anything you see like, 2019, 18, it's quadrupled and if you get that for $800, if you can get that, I would pay up. It's expensive.
Yeah. No, it's just
You never see those. I bet you John hasn't seen those things, man. Mathewson.
He's busy looking for stuff.
Well, I found all these Johnny Pros. This is the McGinnis I was talking about with the Sixers, and it was sponsored by McDonald's.
Oh, that's cool.
And then this was the 74 Mike Schmidt
that's pretty cool.
and Steve
I like that,
Carlton.
Mike.
That's nice. They're good looking.
Yeah, this used to be like a more obscure, sought after car. And then the 73s are the Orioles, and my favorite, just looks wise, is Mark Belanger.
I'm kind of digging that green background.
And I don't know if you guys keep your cards and stuff in these kinds of holders. Like, I have a sleeve around them. I don't know if you could tell that, but the smaller comic book sleeve fits these perfectly. Perfectly. If anybody doesn't know that.
Video.
I don't have a ton of oversized stuff. I don't have a bunch of it. I mean, very little.
How about this?
Hold on, let me zoom in. I gotta. Oh, is that Ozzy?
Family Fun Centers.
That's
I have
pretty
one of
cool.
those somewhere.
Yeah, I got this set.
That's
Cool Raleigh fingers.
Is that from his rookie year or?
That's his rookie.
Yeah, this
card.
is before his rookie card, and then they made one in the following year. I can't remember. Wait, is this 78 or 79?
It's the year they had the All-Star game there. And
is it 78 or 79?
Yeah, they had the All-Star game there, so they decided to, produce some cards.
But it's considered a rookie, unless you're Victor. But no, it's considered. But I can't. It might be before his 79 card. I'm drawing a blank now. But they did make one the following year. That's a really cool card too. But this one, obviously, because of the rookie thing, you know how people go cuckoo for rookie cards.
Yeah,
Cuckoo for rookie cards. Those are the only ones that matter.
that's your new phrase.
I
bro.
mean, most people don't even collect. They don't even want a second year play card.
That's me. I do. I snack them all up because they're cheaper.
Oh, me too, man.
Second
I
and
want
third.
them. I want them all, but I mean, if you're gonna give me a
Rick
choice,
has
It's 78.
So it is 78. Yeah,
78.
I thought so, but I wasn't positive.
Yeah.
looks good.
So the 79 one then isn't his rookie card. This would be his rookie card.
Yeah. For any serious Ozzy collector, I feel like that's a must-have.
Yeah, and if you want to abide by all the rules that people make up for you, you
It's
can
an
just
XRC.
you can get a stamp, and they make stamps. You could make them yourself, and you could just stamp an RC there.
It's an
Just write it
XRC,
in.
baby.
Just write it in.
XRC. Let's go. These terms have been established.
I want to know who made up all these rules.
It was Beckett.
I wasn't consulted.
I think it was Beckett that came up with the XRC rookie card, first year card.
Hey, Ellie De La Cruz, he's going to have rookie cards in 3 different years. It's absurd.
Hey, I was looking at your board. Like I know we talked about it before, but I like O'Neal Cruz more than Ellie. I was looking at his first Bowman. I told him I didn't know he was a Dodger. Like, I guess he was a prospect for the Dodgers.
I've got
this.
Get him.
Lou, I like
got
O'Neal
this.
better too. I think O'Neal's going to be a better. That injury was brutal. It was actually against my White Sox too.
It was brutal.
Yeah, that was brutal because that kid he's got everything.
Yeah, he's the man. I like him.
I got
that
this
was a nice
Ben
one. What was
Baller, but Dylan says this is junk. I don't know what a Ben Baller
What
is,
is it?
but apparently it's junk, and you shouldn't buy it.
I
It's a
actually
Ben
have a couple
Baller refractor?
I have a couple Ben Ballers. Yeah.
I know
Is that
nothing
numbered?
about it, but it's a really cool refractor.
It's another.
Is
It's
it
the same
numbered?
thing as
Black?
it's the same thing as the Topps Chrome. It's just another kitschy little
Yeah, it's
gimmick
just a-
to put out another set, right?
Who's Ben
He was an
Baller?
artist.
I don't know.
He's an
That
artist
I-
in 2020. Ben
Oh,
Miller
is
was
that
an
what it
Oh,
artist.
he was an
in
artist. Okay. He's
Yeah.
one of the
Reese-
2020
Reese is
artists.
saying that we need a Mangini
Yeah.
collecting rule 101 book.
2020. Yeah. Yeah, Ben
I
Baller
have
got,
no rules. I have no rules. I do my own thing. I hate rules. Always did.
that whole 2020 project scheme.
I mean,
Ben
I
Baller
always,
he was pretty
yeah, I never.
popular. So
Is that when it started,
they gave
Lou?
him his own
2020?
Okay, well that makes sense to me now. But it's a
Sammy, you
beautiful
need one
car.
of these.
Hey,
Oh,
pull
yeah.
me up again. You got to
Hold
see
on,
how beautiful this
sorry,
is.
one
He
second.
knows what he's talking.
Hang on, I'm
He doesn't
battling
know what he's
between.
talking about. Forget
I'm
it.
battling. Hold on, I got to
John,
see
you're not
Rick.
hosting.
Yeah, I saw. You know what? I've seen those, Rick.
Yeah.
That's not a
Yeah.
refractor.
The 55 All-American Sports.
No, you know what? I looked at that one recently. There was one. I don't know. I can't remember where I saw it, but it's a phenomenal set.
Rick, get that old beat up crap out of here. You need
Hold
the
on,
shiny
hold on.
cards.
Hold
I
up.
can't put
Hold up.
wax on
Rick,
that card, Rick. I can't wax that card.
Look at
hey,
that
is that
shine.
numbered? John, is that numbered because it's black, or is that just a refractor? Is it numbered?
I think I think they were black that year, Lou, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was a year where all the Ben Ballers were black.
It's not numbered, but I believe it's I believe they know how many are made, but there's no number on it.
I got another question though. Rick, you got 44 Babe Ruths. You got Christy Mathewson for days. When are you gonna update that iPhone you're using? It looks like you're in the fog, bro. God,
I don't know. I gotta do the lighting. I don't know what to do.
Dude, that's a flip phone.
Yeah, yeah, he's using a flip phone. That shit my man look like he's in a fog. Is it raining over there?
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this lighting.
He goes, those old flip phones, when you take a video, they'd be in like almost slow motion.
It's updated. It's the Gold Razor. It's the Gold Razor.
Yeah, you can always find Rick because when his phone rings, it's the Nokia ringtone.
Or how about the one that sounds like an old phone ringing?
Oh yeah.
Look at John, man. It takes him about 2 days to upload.
Oh, you see what I'm talking about?
Video. Is your video been up?
Now listen, you're talking. That's called deflection. You're taking something that is your own flaw, and now you're deflecting it to me.
John will go on our text chat. John, John go, hey, you gotta check this video. I just did a video. We have to wait like 4 hours for it to upload.
It's my phone. It's so loaded up.
Uses that AOL.
Oh, my phone, when I first started this, my phone wasn't even taking the videos. I bought a brand new iPad specifically for this and this only. I don't want to, I've got so much. Yeah, I've got so much on my phone right now. Use it for work and for, personal pictures. It just loads up. So
I can't tell you how many times in the middle of a video it kicked off because I ran out of storage space in the middle of my recording.
Right.
As soon as I upload, I delete it.
That's what I do. That's what I'm doing on this one, on this iPad. Yeah. As soon as it's uploaded, it's gone.
Once you upload, delete it.
You guys are living in the 20th century.
You guys
we can't all be in New York.
Sammy's the tech.
If I had to pay rent in New York or buy a place in New York and the taxes, I couldn't own a single card.
Believe me, it's not easy.
Yeah, come to the land of
It's
Florida, baby.
It's the number one highest taxes in the country.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
I need to get off. It's dinner time here. It's I'm on West Coast. But
it's 4:00.
I'll leave a card or a stamp that John doesn't have, so I can take off the tie cop.
Hey, Rick, hang out with us. You could go to the early bird special again tomorrow.
God, my lighting's so bad. John, you got one of these?
No, I
can't even see it.
I tried reading the flip.
I can't see it.
Hold on, I gotta go back.
It's a 1915 stamp. Tie cop.
Oh no, I don't have a 1915 stamp.
There you
Looks
go.
like damn monsoon. Just like
all right,
Rick loves to show stuff I don't have.
Thanks,
Rick. Bro, with Lou, I know.
Very nice seeing you, Rick.
Oh my God.
Thanks for coming on, Rick.
All right, man.
Rick,
thanks.
always talking to you, brother. Talk to you later.
All right,
Rick, do you have an Earl Webb?
Ooh,
Earl Webb.
I'll bet you don't have one.
I got that cards in that set, but who's
he had two cards the year before this. This is 1930. but he is the what is he? The all-time leader in doubles in a single season.
Hey, impress me. Show me that Joe D card in that set.
I'm not trying to impress you,
Yeah,
dude.
that's why
I mean, if I want to shell out $50,000-$60,000 for a card just to impress people, I could do it, but it's so stupid.
I'm just give John the business. That's all we do on the Misfit chat is give each other the business. So
Absolutely.
that's
I wouldn't know what to do if you weren't busting my chops. To be honest with you, I'd think you were sick.
Yeah, we're
Thanks,
actually
Sammy.
behaving.
Thanks, Rick.
See you,
We're
Rick.
actually
See you
behaving.
guys. All right.
We are behaving on this live stream. If you believe it or
Yeah, I'm
not.
gonna have to get going too.
Yeah, I was gonna follow suit.
I appreciate you letting me on.
It was a pleasure as always.
Oh, hey, check your foot. You got a 58
Yeah.
maze on your foot, bro. It's perfect.
Whenever I'm with my family, all I'm thinking about, even if they're talking about something outside of baseball cards, I'm just thinking about, man, I hope I get that card in the mail today.
If I close my eyes, it's like I'm talking
You know
about.
what? I do have a card stuck to my foot. T206 Johnny Evers.
Oh man, I can't believe I found it. It's been missing for quite a while.
I'm trying to
I do that. Sometimes. Did you ever do this? So I have so many boxes, and I have them all broken by sets. And
Yeah.
if they're like small sets, I have them by era, right? Like I have my Dandy potato chips with my Red Hearts, with my Hires root beer in the same box, for instance. And did you ever do this? I have done this so many times, and I freak out, and it takes me like an hour to find it. But I'll take when I'm organizing, I'll have a stack of cards, and I'll accidentally put it behind one and put it in another box in another set. And then like weeks later, I'm looking for it. I can't find it anywhere. And I have to go through like every box and start to look and try to remember what I put away last and start there. But I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. And what I did? I sometimes I'll rearrange my displays because I don't like to keep the same cards out, for years or whatever. And sometimes I'll redo a display and I'll lose cards, and I totally forget that I put them in a display. And I'm looking everywhere, digging boxes, and then I look up and it's staring at
you.
Yeah.
hidden in plain sight.
All right,
I
gentlemen.
envy these guys with like 20 card collections.
I'm gonna
Oh,
hit it.
I wish my collection fits in a case in a Zion case.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, that's my collection essentially.
That's
Just fits in a
fantastic.
case.
though. Sammy, I appreciate you letting me be on.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
always.
it was nice talking to you,
always.
Lou, John. We'll talk
Likewise.
again soon, I'm
Great
sure.
being on with
See
you.
you
All
in
right.
Mother Trucking Cleveland.
That's right, baby.
Can't
I'll see
wait.
you, whoever Strongsville. I'll see
I'm
you there
getting
first.
excited.
So, all right, guys, have a good one.
You too.
All
See
right,
you later.
bye-bye.
Sammy, how does your collection fit in a box? You have more than that behind you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, bro.
it's underneath my table.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm for real. I don't have.
Like his PC. He has inventory.
Yeah, I
He
have
got inventory.
inventory.
PC.
The inventory is in a
PC.
storage unit, but my collection is very. It's probably I don't know. I mean, let me see. There's four cards in this column. What is it? 1, 2, 3. So 24 cards in here, and then I have just a couple boxes of like the basketball rulers and some Maddie's stuff and.
I was gonna say you're focused, but I mean I know you got your Mets and your Seavers, but you're
Yeah.
a Hall of Fame rookie card guy.
I was. I kind that was like anybody, like there's a lot of people that kind of pivot in their collections, and that's sort of what happened. I sold a lot of the rookies that I have, minus the big names like Aaron and Clemente.
I was
And
gonna say you're gonna pivot. You're gonna bring that 54 to
which one?
to Cleveland. I might
Which
know
one?
a guy.
Huh?
54 Aaron.
Oh, for the right price, I guess I could. I thought you had one. I figured you guys have that already.
Nah.
You guys don't have an Aaron?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny does.
Hey,
So to me, when you talk about small collections, large collections, like I'm a large collection guy. I want to have all the great cards, not just a few of them. To me, cards are like women. It's like the first time you see one, or the first time you have one, you want all the rest of them too.
The good, the bad, the ugly, baby.
It's quite the analogy. Quite the analogy. Yeah. I
He
don't
has
know.
a final card he doesn't like.
Hey Lou, you're a big collection guy too.
Yeah.
How many cards you buy in the $5 boxes when you go?
I haven't been. I kind of pivoted because I was on a live stream with Dylan a week or two ago, and we started talking about modern. But the thing is, like in the past year, I haven't really bought too much modern, and especially with all the, the prices of just blasters. I realized I haven't ripped cards. I actually bought some cards just to rip with Bob, because that's how I grew in love with the hobby. Ripping cards, hitting my favorite players. It wasn't about the value. It was just like I hit my guy. So I bought some packs, waiting for the right time to rip it with, because she's into soccer and she's doing this. I don't want to rip it. I want to rip it when she's in the mood to rip it, not when she's tired or doing homework or to rush through it. So I got a couple packs for that, but I realized I didn't buy modern. I had no Volpe rookie cards. So this past week I bought like 15 Volpe rookie cards, getting ready for opening day. And while I was doing
I get on
I
those
was
kicks too.
Yeah, man. And
so I haven't been buying much modern, but I just ordered 2 boxes of the new tops. I'm sorry, I love that design. I just love it. It reminds me of a more modern day 1972 tops.
With the neon lights, bro.
Yeah. Because 72 has kind of that funkadelic look.
You look like Pitbull's older brother. You're Mr. 305. Of course you like that neon light.
Well, I mean, I was in, he stole my look when I was in Miami.
Oh yeah. See, so I picked up a couple of those.
But I don't know why it doesn't look like it. It reminds me of it, if that makes sense. It has like that same vibe about it, right?
Yeah, it has like that border.
That psychedelic 72 look. But anyway, I like it. I like it. I've heard mixed reviews. I think most people like it, but to each his own.
It's got someone for me to chase. I always enjoy it when I try to tell people who are just getting into the hobby. We were spoiled a couple years ago because you had 2017 with a phenomenal rookie class. 2018 is bananas with Otani, Soto, Glaber was in it. I know I'm missing someone else. Soto. 2019 had Vladimir and Jordan. So I'm happy that this one has Jason Dominguez. Last year was Volpe. So it'd be fun to rip with the anticipation, hoping to get like I said, it's fun when you have people that you want to collect and chase, and then everything else is just a bonus.
But what's awesome about opening new product and keeping it, and if you're a long-term collector, is that oftentimes the best player is one nobody's chased when they were ripping them, and the one everybody's chasing turns out to be not so great. And it's fantastic when like 3 years later, somebody rises up and you go back looking for their cards to see if you pulled that one, and it happens to be like an autograph you pulled or a 1 of 10 or something that you blew off at the time, right? Like I remember I was like that with Patrick Mahomes. I kept everything I opened was Patrick Mahomes, and I was like, I never heard of him because I don't follow college football, and he didn't play his rookie season, so I had those cards put away. And then all of a sudden, his second year, he's lighting it up. And I'm like, I know that's that guy. I kept pulling. And I went back and I went through my prisms. And sure enough, I had, I had his jersey. I had that other card. And I had like 3 Mahomes. And then I had him in other products too. But that was so much fun to go back because then I didn't have to get him. I already had him.
Exactly. The best product
I
baseball.
what's that?
I said the best product for that in baseball is Bowman. I did that with a James Ottman. I was like, I recognize that name, and
Yeah.
you know, I had a autographed James Ottman to 25. I'm like, I remember when I ripped it. I'm like, huh, an auto. At least he's not a pitcher. That was my first thing. You don't want a pitcher. I was like, oh, he's an outfielder for the Dodgers. Cool. Maybe he'll be something. And I top loaded it away and put it away. Then I saw he was starting for the Dodgers. I'm like, oh, I know I had that guy. What I did,
Yeah.
I thought it was just a low number. So I went back to my Bowman box. It was 2019 Bowman. And here we are in 2023. You know, this was last year. So I go back through my box. I'm like, oh, here he is. And I start looking at eBay listings sold. And opening day, when I found it, we were already past the All-Star break. So I missed the boat, the hype. The opening day, that same card sold for $2,000. And then a month after that, it sold for $1,500. I managed to get rid of it for about $700. And I used that to buy, you know, a nice rookie card, a vintage rookie card I needed. So I was like, I think care less about it. But
now, how did you move that? How did you sell that? Out of curiosity, did you take it to a card shop or somebody you knew? Or?
No, I just did it. The thing with eBay, you get the most eyes on it. eBay took like 80.
Oh, so you did it with eBay?
Yeah, it's just I tried doing it through the Facebook forums, but I felt naked. Like I didn't have the protection. You know, people could vouch for you.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it could be sitting there. Within minutes, I had, you know, a couple people liking the card, and it's just eBay does. I don't want to say take advantage because it is the largest marketplace. You get the most eyes on it, and it was easy. I mean, I took 5 good photos. I'm a collector, so I know what I would want to see.
Right. That's how I was when I used to sell off doubles on there. I knew what they wanted to see, and I put a nice description.
Yeah, a very nice description. I pointed out every flaw, you know, a touch of white on the back. Because like I said, it was packed fresh. I put it in top loader, penny sleeves top loader, but there was a little touch of white. So I mentioned that. And I even added, look, as a collector, I know how to package cards. This card will be protected as it ships. But the thing is, I had to send it to the authenticator here in Florida. So I did this beautiful job realizing it's going straight to dang, you know, wherever this SGC authenticator is, because it was a raw card, it was ungraded. So anything, the threshold is I think $300 for ungraded card. So it went over there. So I don't know how.
I think did they raise it? I think it was $250.
Maybe it was $250.
I don't know if they raised it. But hey guys, I got to get running.
No worries. Oh, I thought he just quickly bounced.
No. As soon as I said that, something flickered. That was odd.
I was like, man,
I have the power.
Nice to see you too, man.
All right,
hey,
Sammy,
John,
thanks for
you,
letting me
Thanks,
join.
John.
Lou Rock,
you later.
I'll talk to you in probably in 10 minutes. All right.
Yeah. That's my homie. That's my big bro.
Yeah, man.
He'll probably text me, so he'll text me for a little bit. But yeah, man, I mean, nice little run, almost 2.5 hours. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna call it a night.
Yeah, because you're East Coast too, man.
Yeah. I gotta wake up at the crack of dawn and start over again.
Oh no, I'm just gonna pour me another bourbon and fall asleep on the couch probably.
That's a good
I'm
idea.
off tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful. All right, Lou.
All right, homie. You take it easy.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. 32 people still watching. I appreciate you guys.
Well, K Cards, I was in the chat. K Cards is thinking about doing a channel. Do it, bro.
Yeah, man.
As Chris would say, just hit play.
Join the bandwagon and just hit play and make sure you got enough booze in you. All right,
hit record, don't hit play.
Yeah.
That's why I make fun of Chris. Chris always says, hit play, hit record.
Otherwise, you're going to be playing a video of somebody else. All right. Take care, guys. See you later.
Go Yankees, baby. Go Yankees.